Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ analysis, another live stream, 5th day in a row now. Manchester United versus Fulham. The team news has just dropped, / is now dropping. Corey, good to see you in the chat. Hope you're well, mate. Same for you, Callum. Matt, good to see you. P, is the lineup out? It is. In terms of the Manchester United lineup, I don't have to change a single thing because it is what we came up with the other day, what we finally predicted. It came true. Erik ten Hag has gone for that 11. Now, in terms of Fulham, we do need to adjust theirs a little bit, so I will be doing that shortly. But in terms of the Manchester United team, it's near enough what we predicted in chat the other day, which is pretty good to see. Chad, good to see you. Alex, good to see you. Fishfinger, hope you're all well. Amazing stuff, AJ. Daily football predictions. Join me if you're interested in stuff like that. Join the Discord and let me know. Considering the circumstances, I don't hate it. Yeah, I think it's far from an ideal 11 in terms of in an ideal world. But in the situation we're in right now, apologies guys, I'm just quickly looking at what their lineup is and making sure we've got their team right as well. How's it going? Do I reckon we get top 4? Yeah, top 5 I reckon we get. Top 4 I'm not too sure at the moment. We're going to have to see how things go, how we deal with some players missing. But yeah, how are you guys feeling anyway? How are we feeling coming into the game? Are we confident with that starting 11? How do we think it's going to work from a tactical point of view? What are we worried about with Fulham? Still just making a couple of last-minute changes here. No Willian in this side. They've actually ended up with a very different team to what we had. They've gone for Bassi at centre-back, which we didn't have. They've gone for Lukic in midfield, which we didn't have. Wilson on the wing. And Iwobi on the other side as well. So they've gone for some proper hard workers in terms of those set pieces we were talking about the other day. That Wilson thing there, a little bit of a sticky issue potentially. But in general, not a mile off what we were expecting. Is Forson playing 9? We don't know, obviously. I mean, I think it would be my prediction. I assume he will, just so we don't change too many other things in the side. But we don't actually know for sure. Watching the Hull versus West Brom game right now, how is it? Is it a good game? AJ, how many screens am I using? I've got 2 screens up at the moment. 2 at the moment. Isn't Forson closer to Martial than Højlund in terms of play style? Yeah, well, realistically, Forson naturally is a winger. It's where he plays in the academy. He's someone who likes to come inside the pitch and combine. So in terms of Martial, that link, yeah, perhaps a left-sided player moving inside, and it is about combination play. He's not Rasmus Højlund in the same way. He's not going to constantly be a battering ram. He's not going to constantly be kind of pestering those defenders in the same way, which perhaps Rasmus would. So we are going to have to adapt. Do you guys think it will be Dalot and Lindelof this way round, or is there a chance they switch? I don't understand why Ahmad won't start. Yeah, well, the news we saw in the week was that both Ahmad and Forson train well, but Ten Hag simply seems to prefer Forson. You know, he seems to think that Forson is the better player. Did I say that right? Yeah, Ten Hag prefers Forson. I'm just quickly going to look through who's on the United bench because I haven't actually seen that yet. Do you think Forson will have to win the physical battle? It'll be a big part of it. Adebayo and Bassi are 2 very athletic defenders. And I think even Rasmus would have had difficulties there because they are big physical players. Let's just quickly check who's on the bench. I'm going to read this out for you. So we've got Bayindir, we've got Johnny Evans, we've got Kambuala, which is good to see. Amrabat, Ahmad, McTominay, Anthony, Eriksson. Some of the regulars, Collier as well. I don't understand why Ahmad isn't getting a chance. Perhaps Ten Hag just feels, that Forson's had that effect recently when he's come on from the bench. I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised. Am I surprised? No, I thought it was going to be Forson. Ahmad potentially in the cup in midweek is where I'd like to see him give him more of a chance. Forson is a good lad, but I'm afraid that he got burned. The stress and the pressure is at the peak. Yeah, we're going to have to see. It'll be a big mental test for him. It's a big test for a young player coming into the team. I think the important thing really is just for the fans to get right behind him, literally, from the start of the game. I think the fact that it's Old Trafford will help him as well. The fact that we're not going to a kind of a tricky away ground. He should have the crowd behind him, cheering his first touches. That Old Trafford crowd, they love a young player coming through the academy. So, in terms of that front 3, Forson, Rashford, Garnacho, and then Kobbie Mainoo behind them as well. It's a good day for the academy once again. It's a 90-minute match. Ahmad will get minutes. Yeah, he might get on at some point. I find it interesting that once again, no Anthony in the starting 11. Because once upon a time, he would have been one of the first names on the team sheet. And if he didn't play, he certainly would have come into the side. So no Anthony again. Will he get minutes today? Probably, simply because of our lack of attacking options. But has it changed a little bit with Ten Hag and his thoughts towards Anthony? Maybe. Ali with a $10 donation, picking up exactly where he left off yesterday. Absolute legend. Saying, morning all, how are you all doing? Personally, pretty darn good, thank you very much. I hope you are well as well. 3 important points needed, 3 youth players from our academy, so excited about it. And then with Rashford as well, that makes it 4 academy starters. Yeah, there's some youth in that side, isn't there? Forson, Garnacho, Kobe Mainoo in particular. A little bit of an experience in there. But I think it's got quite a nice blend with the likes of Varane should be able to help him through the game. Casemiro, of course. Bruno Fernandes is experienced. Marcus Rashford as well. But like you said, it's a good day for our academy. Thank you very much, though, as always, for the donation. Guys, make sure to spam some love hearts in the chat. Say thank you to Ali and show him some love because he's a hero. He's a hero. It's Forson striker. We're not sure. We're not sure. He could be up front. He could be left wing. Lukumi played good yesterday. He had a really good game. Great player. Really good player. I prayed last night that Anthony wouldn't start, says Bobby the Bob. Well, my friend, you have got your wish. Will he come on from the bench? I'm not too sure. Was Ericsson among the players on the bench? He was. Hero donation, always from Ali. He's an absolute legend. You will have also noticed that it now pops up down here if you subscribe to the channel, if you become a member, if you gift memberships, if you leave a super chat. It pops up, your name comes up. I hope Forson comes good for us, and I know it was one game, but I didn't like how he played against Wolves. He looked shaky on the ball and gave away possession a few times. Hope he'll be better today. I think there's every chance he'll be better today. I think there was a lot of pressure on him in that game coming on from the bench, but also, he done alright in the build-up to the goal. I think he does really well for Kobe Mainoo's goal. Of course, Kobe gets the praise for that, but Forson was heavily involved with his ability to protect the ball initially, and then his intelligence to make a run off the ball. He does strike me as someone who is intelligent, someone who has a lot of energy, but also knows how to exploit space and things like that. And that could benefit Marcus Rashford. If Forson plays up front, Forson naturally being a left winger, there is every chance that in certain situations he makes this sort of run, this way. Could that naturally open up the pathway for Rashford to come in? Possibly. Possibly. That could be something that we see in this game. Have you seen clips of João Neves yet? I've done videos on João Neves. Unbelievable player. Incredible. Sorry, I'm just trying to sneeze, but yeah, João Neves is a great player. There are videos on the channel if you want to check him out. Unbelievable talent. A video from about 6 or 7 months ago, I believe. I was early on that. 4 academy players, front 3 of the academy. It's great to see. It's great to see. This is the United DNA. Is Fulham a mid-block or a low-block team? So, let's say United have the ball at the back. I would expect Fulham at times to try and apply a little bit of pressure to the ball, but without being crazily intense. So I think there'll be some men forward, but particularly if we use a double pivot in midfield, which we have done recently, sometimes Dallo in there. But I think if we build possession in the way that we have done recently, there is the potential for us to simply have more players in this area, particularly if we use Onana, use the strengths of Onana, draw Fulham onto us. So I think we can have some joy there. After that, they will be more of a mid-block. So they're not going to drop all the way and park the bus. That's not really the brand of football they will look for, unless we force them to. You know, if we really grab the game, dominate and control, then naturally they would sit back. But they don't want to be all the way back, you know, on top of their keeper. They do want to hold a reasonably high line. They do want the game to be in this sort of area. Is it one of those games, therefore, where we see some long passes over the top? Lindelof in the side could lead to that if they don't apply pressure. Lindelof having a little bit of time looking over the top for someone like Rashford, for Forson. We've seen that sort of thing before. We could see it again. Starboy Forson time. Hopefully. Be great to see him get a goal or an assist or something, but I just want to see him confident. I want to see, you know, first touch of the game, keep it nice and simple, get the ball, just play a simple pass to a teammate, get that bit of confidence in you. You know, that first pass is important. He's a very young player. He could have an absolute stinker today, an absolute rotter, but if he does, that doesn't mean he's awful. That doesn't mean he's not going to make it at United. It's just a one-off game. This is a young player who is a human as well. A lot of pressure, but I'm looking forward to seeing him play. AJ, can you believe that Wolves slapped 80 million on the Neto price tag? Yeah, I think it means we've got to sway away from that. Swerve away from that as a signing, right? 80 million on another winger would seem bonkers. FP, good to see you, mate. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you're well. MUFC, good to see you as well. Is Harry Amas in the team today? No, he is with the under-18s today, which I think is where he belongs for now. Very good player, but I think it's where he belongs. Forson's size is what worries me. He doesn't look physical enough. Again, perhaps he isn't. But again, you know, this is the start of his career. He's a young guy. He's physically developing. He's going to learn how to use his body more and things like that. So yeah, he might struggle. In terms of, are we going to work the ball wide and swing a load of crosses into the box for Forson? Possibly not. You know, that may not be the approach for us to use in this game because he's not necessarily going to out-jump the likes of Adebayo. By the way, keep an eye on Adebayo. Maybe someone we should sign in the summer. Keep an eye on him. Really good player. So keep an eye on him. But yeah, I think we should put faith in Forson. We should believe in him. Young lad on the bench. Does anyone know much about him? Let me know. Anyway, in terms of actually how we are going to set up, I would imagine we see Lindelof left side. Naturally, being a centre-back, he's not going to bomb forward all the time. So I would imagine he'll be fairly close to the back three. That's going to keep Maguire central, which is a good thing. It means he doesn't have to cover large spaces. And it means Varane, who has declined a little bit in this area, but he can still play this role. It should mean that we can keep our right side dynamic, which I think is important. Dalot, Kobbie Mainoo, Garnacho, I think they've played well in recent weeks. We can build on that. I think that's a great thing. With what Ten Hag has done with this 11, should it set up in this way, not guaranteeing it, but should it set up in this way, we can continue that development down that side of the pitch, which I think is a good thing. We can keep Bruno Fernandes in the 10, hopefully, Kobbie and Casemiro near each other. Keep Rashford on the left-hand side. Now, Rashford might become isolated a little bit at times because Casemiro is not the best creative attacking player down that side of the pitch, and neither is Victor Lindelof, certainly compared to Luke Shaw. It's not ideal. But, you know, Marcus Rashford is still a threat up against Castagna. I think he'll back himself, particularly the fact that at times we can create a front five up against their back four, and their wingers don't always get back in and, you know, overload that to defence. So I think we can hurt them in that way. I think we can absolutely hurt them. Nice to see everyone backing Forson. It's what this club should be all about. These young players coming through and getting a shot at Old Trafford. Whether that be because they've worked hard in training or an injury in the first team, whatever it may be. Marcus Rashford a few years ago wasn't meant to be in the team. Player gets injured, who was in form at the time, gets injured. We have to rely on someone. Marcus Rashford comes into the side and hasn't really looked back over the past 8 years since then. Now, I'm not saying Forson's going to have the same effect today, but he's got an opportunity to get in the side, to play, and hopefully play well. Interesting how our right-hand side is becoming the more dominant side. I think the reason it might be becoming the more dominant side is because it's our more consistent side at the moment. You know, assuming we aren't hit, you can guarantee who's going to play on our right side at the moment. Whereas with the left, it's Luke Shaw in and out of the team with injury, Lisandro Martinez in and out of the team. I do feel like down this side of the pitch, we've got just a bit of consistency, really, for the first time this season. So it's good to see. True that, AJ. I'm preaching. Why do you think Amrabat hasn't really worked out? I think simply because of an unbelievably transitional approach this season. And I think Amrabat suits a much slower style of football. Of course, he was an option for the left-back role today. I think he could have played there. But I think naturally, if we want our left-back to tuck into a back three, then going for Lindelof does make a little bit more sense because he's a centre-back, although he doesn't always look like it, but he is. What might suit Lindelof a little bit is when he plays left-back, I think he's a little bit questionable, right? I don't think we all have total faith in him. But my bigger concern with Lindelof is when he faces a winger who constantly wants to go down the outside onto their right foot, because I'm not sure Lindelof wants to do that. With Harry Wilson, you do have a player who, very good at football, very technical, good dribbler, things like that, but he is left-footed. He wants to come inside. He wants to use a sort of low centre of gravity, twisting and turning, and more about agile dribbling, and kind of gliding across the pitch. He's not a power athlete, which might help Lindelof. Also, the fact that naturally he's going to come inside onto his left foot. Is that just closer to Lindelof's right foot? That might help him a little bit. Obviously, Castagna on the overlap will be a problem, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of defensive shift we get from Marcus Rashford today following him. But that might suit Lindelof. It might. AJ, do you think Forson will perform well? Yeah, I do. I believe in him. Total faith. A big game for the coach and the fellow players and the established investment. We need 3 points, right? We need 3 points. Listen to Fishfinger in chat, by the way, guys. He has said if you leave a like on the stream, Forson will score. It's a rumour. I've heard that rumour as well. Imagine that. Forson scores. Unbelievable. Hey, AJ, is there going to be a post-match analysis stream? There won't be another stream today, but there will be a video analysing the game at about 8 PM UK time. So that will be 3 to 4 hours after full time. A Forson hat-trick if you leave a like. Again, I've heard that rumour. It costs nothing to leave a like on the stream, guys. If you do it, it would be greatly appreciated. It pushes the stream out to a wider community, which means we can get more people in the chat. We can upgrade the streams, all of that stuff. So we can run those likes up a lot. 60, easy. When Ten Hag said we want to become the best transition team in the world, he didn't mean like only counterattacks, like us playing like Real Madrid. Good possession team, but elite in transitions. I completely agree with you. I think his idea of best transitioning team in the world is not that we always transition, but when we do, it's very effective. Now, I think this season we've been caught up a little bit. At times we are too transitional, we are too direct. But I think that's been more because of just the lack of players available. I think that's been the bigger issue. So, yeah, I think you're spot on with your point there. What's the issue with Ahmad? I don't think there is an issue as such. I don't think Ahmad's doing anything wrong. I would imagine he's training hard, probably performing well in training, things like that. He was good on loan last season, I would imagine. Stylistic point of view, just pure ability. Ten Hag prefers Forson at the moment. Ten Hag sees them all week in training, so for now, we've just got to try and trust him. But yeah, guys, if you could leave a like on the stream, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. We've nearly got 200 people in here, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Welcome to everyone. If you subscribe, by the way, you're going to get to see your name pop up on screen here, which is pretty cool. Also, if you become a member or anything like that. Last time Forson played, he looked very small. Perhaps he needs some beef up. Bruno shouldn't lose a lot of balls. Yeah, obviously Forson, he's up against 2 physical guys here, by the way. Tosin, Adebayo, and Bassi, these are athletic. They're big, they're strong, they cover a decent amount of ground. Adebayo in particular. Darwin Núñez was trying to run him into the channels a few weeks ago, and to be honest, Adebayo didn't give him any loose change, really, number 4. But yeah, he's a young lad. He's going to take time to develop into his body. Matt, by the way, has just left a link to the Discord. Check it out. Completely free to join. I recommend you do it. Completely free. Garnacho and Rashford need to step up. Yeah, I think it will be important for those two, particularly in the case of Rashford being that more experienced player, and also Bruno Fernandes. It's about him getting his pass right as well. Do you know what's crazy? And I just kind of thought about this. We've got Kobbie Mainoo in our midfield today, who's 18 years old. And he is so good. And he has been so good for us this season. And he has adapted to first team football so quickly that we see him in the starting 11 and we don't really react. Because it's just what he does now. Kobbie Mainoo just plays in the starting 11 every week. Someone's saying mic in the chat. Is there a problem with the mic? Or are we good? Can you guys hear me still?
Hello.
Okay, we're good. But yeah, the fact that's a big credit to Kobbie Mainoo. The fact that now we see him in the starting 11 and we barely even blink. Mike's good. Devil's Mate, that is a problem on your end, I'm afraid, my friend. Because for everyone else it seems to be working. Try leaving and then come back in or something like that. Oh, good, mate. No worries. Transition football is not the same as counter-attacking park the bus style. Ten Hag plays vertically. Much like Hansi Flick, he wants us to be on our toes at key moments and run like a pack of wolves. Pretty much. In terms of if we are to flip it the other side a little bit and, be negative for a split second, what are your concerns coming into this game? What worries you about that Fulham side? Is it Pereira turning into pre-season Pirlo like he used to do for us? Is it Pereira set pieces? Wilson good on set pieces as well? Is it something like that? Is it the threat of the striker? Is it the fullbacks on the overlap? Is it our difficulty with trying to break down a team? What do you think might be a bit of a sticking point for us today? I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts. Of course, we want to keep the positivity as well, but we need to look at both sides of it. It's important to do that. Set pieces. I think set pieces feel like a concern for us most weeks because we're just not very good at them, are we? We're not very good at defending them. Although, granted, FP told us yesterday, I believe it was, that Fulham have only scored one more set-piece goal than us this season. So, this might be the battle with two sides which can't take set-pieces. How old is Forson? I believe 19. Maybe someone can double-check that up, but I believe he's 19 years old. Less worried about the game and more worried that with a couple more injuries, we're back to first half of the season issues. Yeah, it's a shame, but it's just where we are. Callum has said, by the way, guys, 6 likes and he will gift one of you a membership. A membership. So, get the stream to 70 likes and Callum will gift one of you a membership, which means you get custom emojis, a custom badge next to your name, and also you can join a Discord and get exclusive content. So you should definitely do that. Leave a like on the stream. Thank you very much, Callum. When is Mount returning? I believe in the next few weeks. I believe he's getting closer. 19? Yeah, I thought he was. Compactness and not leaving gaps is a must. Score early and control the game, not shooting from silly angles. Bruno Fernandes, we're looking at you, my friend. Let's not have one of those games where we just shoot every time we get the ball. I would like to see control. I'm not sure if we're going to, but I like the idea of it. I do wonder if early stages of the game, let's talk first 10, 15 minutes or so of the game, I would look out for Lindelof in particular looking over the defence. Particularly, right, just imagine this pattern in your head for a second. So, when we play the ball out from the back, let's say we go to the right-hand side, which we might do a bit more in this game than what we normally do. So let's say we go to the right side. Now, Fulham kind of like pressing a little bit. Not massively, but a little bit. But what they do when they press is they come over like this, but the far winger doesn't do a great job because they don't really come here onto our centre-back, but they also don't really deal with the full-back out wide either. They kind of get caught in between, which means if we draw Fulham one side like so, and then cycle the ball back towards this side of the pitch, Lindelof over the top is something to look out for. Fulham don't necessarily concede chances from this, but you can see that this is something which, every time you watch them, you can see this potentially happening. Because as the ball goes back to Onana, Wilson doesn't know whether he should go to Lindelof, leaving Maguire free, or go to Maguire, leaving Lindelof free. Because, and it might change in this game, but they don't tend to connect their fullbacks to the press. We've all heard that saying before, right? Fulham do it as well, which does potentially give us time for balls over the top. So I would watch out for that, particularly 10-15 minutes. I think Ten Hag likes to do that early in the game. I think he has this idea of early in the game, we turn the opposition around. We get them on the back foot. We get them running towards their own goal a little bit. So I think we might see that early on to also get the crowd behind us as well, that quick direct football. Ali has said, by the way, guys, if we can hit 110 likes, he will donate another $10. So we have now hit the 70 likes. So can we get to 110? Can we do it? Can we do it? Don't worry, guys. Callum will do it. I know he will. Callum's my brother. You don't have to push him to do it. Don't worry. You don't have to remind him. Rashford and Garnacho extra wide then, seeing as we don't have any aerial physical presence for the long balls. Try and create some bigger gaps for the players. Bring it down unchallenged. It'd be interesting with that in mind if early on Bruno Fernandes plays a bit higher as well when we go for these long balls. Because if he does, it obviously kind of wraps up a centre-back a little bit. There you go, Callum, as promised, has just gifted 1 membership. So thank you very much, Callum, for the gifted membership. Everyone, spam love hearts in the chat. So if that gifted membership went to you, you now have access to custom emojis. So I'm sure my members will now show. You can spam Sergeant Ratcliffe. You can spam Ten Hag, Kobe Mainu. You also, if you join the Discord, can get exclusive content. All that good stuff. So make sure to say thank you to Callum in the chat. Absolute legend. Also, my brother, so I'm not going to big him up too much because it'll go to his head. Hero stuff, though. Thank you very much, Cam. 189, now 90 likes, by the way. Look at that in chat. That's what you can do if you're a member. Pretty cool. Did that pop up there, by the way? I didn't see if it did or not. Big game for Forson. If he has a good game, we are potentially looking at a second striker that can save us some money for the summer. Possibly. Possibly. It's not a bad shout. I think realistically we still end up looking at a striker. But it is something which could fill a gap. The same with someone like Kambwala in defence. If he's good enough, he could be that 4th or 5th choice defender for us. Ali has just remembered he was, or just realised he was one of the ones not leaving a like. Unbelievable, Ali. What are you playing at, mate? What are you playing at? It's Bruno's turn to make a goal or 3. I wouldn't mind that at all. Do we have a set piece for it today? Lindelof, Maguire, Varane, Casemiro, maybe? Was it? It was the Villa game, weren't it? Where we looked a big threat from set pieces. Do you think that was because we were taking good set pieces that day? Or do you think that was because Villa were defending them poorly? Because, I don't know, I don't see a ton of Fulham players there which want to match up against Maguire. Perhaps Bassi or Tosin. That could be interesting on set pieces. With a Bruno Fernandes delivery, need to be a bit better than what they were last week. Could we take advantage of Maguire's size? Hopefully. Hopefully so. About 30 minutes till kickoff, by the way, guys, just so you're aware, for those of you who aren't fully paying attention. Anyone scared of their attack in the sense of Wilson, Pereira and Iwobi in particular? Moon is up front, really good form at the moment, scoring a lot of goals, playing very well. Are you worried about the Wilsons, the Pereiras, the Iwobis? You know, is that energetic Fulham midfield going to be a problem for Casemiro, do you reckon? Or do you think he'll be alright? I feel confident with Maguire. He always puts his head on every ball. He just needs to direct the ball better. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. We need to do a better job of finding him. It might be a case of better movements and like better set piece routines, moving the big players for the opposition to then find Maguire in a mismatch situation where he can go get that clean connection and direct it towards goal. I think that's what we need to do a little bit more. Nice homegrown front line. It's beautiful to see. Not sure what way round it's going to line up, but it's good to see. It's what we should be all about. Do you guys think it's Rashford left forcing up front, or do you think it might be the other way around? Let me know what you reckon. You're more scared about their fullbacks. Robinson in particular, a good player. Really good left back. I like him a lot. I think particularly as he overlaps. And we know we have this issue sometimes where Garnacho's not lazy defensively. He's just not always, you know, he's not tactically developed defensively. So he does have situations where he doesn't know if he's meant to be pressing or tracking back. It could be an issue with Robinson. And obviously we know on the other side, Rashford's not particularly intense. So could Castagna cause us some problems? Possibly. Another good player. Guys, Ali has challenged you to 13 more likes in this stream. Can you do it? Can you do it? I reckon you can, guys. I reckon you can. We've got 168 people in here, so about 70 people haven't liked. It's very easy to do. You just... or click. Very easy. Very easy to do. Forson and Rashford interchange him. I do wonder if we see that. Forson dropping into this sort of space here. And then Rashford going in behind. Snipes saying he's done his part with his like. Love it. Be more like Snipes, guys. Wouldn't Amrabat be better suited at playing left back than Lindelof? I think if we were asking our left back to invert into midfield, then you would probably go for Amrabat. I think if we were asking for a job where you start here, then move here, I think Amrabat would make more sense. But what we've done in recent weeks with Luke Shaw, he's actually often tucked into a 3. Like so. And then Dallow's gone inside. So I think that the fact that recently our left back has been playing that a little bit deeper, I think Lindelof maybe just naturally makes sense. AJ streams 3 live shows this week. He deserves all the likes he can get. I completely agree. It might be even bit. Have we done 4 this week? Have we done 4 this week? We might have done 4 even. I can't remember. I think we have. I think we've done 4 streams, guys. That's pretty impressive. That does deserve a like in my opinion. But you guys might disagree, which is fair enough. I'll just cry a little bit. With Rashford and... I think Eric wants that balance that's been working. Yeah. I think that's a good thing to see, right? We've had a season which has been so disrupted. We've had a season where every time we build some sort of momentum, something goes wrong. Or, you know, we have Højlund get injured, we have Shaw, Lissandro Martinez. So I think in particular, we want that Dalot, Kobe, Mainu triangle. Like Edward has said there, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We don't need to move Garnacho 20 yards to a different position. We don't need to move Kobe Mainu. We don't need to move Dalot. there is an option for him at left back, but I like the idea of some consistency. Because if not, what you run the risk of doing is your left back gets injured. If you then move your right back to left back, you swap your centre back, whatever you might do, rather than just losing one player in Luke Shaw, for example, you're now losing 3 or 4 players because you're now not got your right back in position, you've got a different left back and maybe one of the centre backs as well. And it's the same with the front line. Rashford left, Højlund up front, Garnacho right. Just because Højlund comes out, you lose your striker. If you then move Rashford up front, you've now lost your left winger and your striker. I like the idea of Rashford left, Garnacho right, Dalot right back, Lindelof left back, minimal changes throughout the team. So we've at least got a chance, we've at least got a hope of maybe building some rhythm with these guys. Particularly with City next week. We need players who have good understandings with each other and things like that, right? Because City next week is going to be tough. So we need to build those understandings in this game. And, you know, Forsen is now part of that, and we love it. You and United People's TV are the best United content creators on this platform. Genuine information with no stupid agendas. Thank you so much for the kind words. There's a lot of United content creators out there, so that means a lot. And United People's TV, recently started watching them a couple of months ago. They're the best, aren't they? Sam's so good. Great content. Absolutely love it. Fulham have a dangerous counter-attack threat. They definitely do. I would argue they don't have true, traditional, unbelievable pace in their front line. You know, Wilson and Iwobi, they can move, right? They can shift, but they're not the quickest in the world. Have we hit the like goal? We've hit 113 likes on the stream, which means that Ali has donated $10 again. He was here donating yesterday. First thing today. And he's here again. Thank you so much, as always. Saying you guys are all legends. Can't say enough kind words about this community. Best family ever. Thank you so much, Ali. Greatly appreciated. If you want to officially be a part of the community, make sure to subscribe to a channel. It costs nothing. But Ali is just a legend. Absolute legend. Guys, churn. I said it again. Turn the chat green. Turn the chat green. Turn the chat green. Easy for me to say. Turn the chat green, guys. Spam some love hearts. Some W's. Some W's. Sam is more of the ultra fan, while you are more of the tactics. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Yeah, his content is unbelievable. Yeah, guys, churn the fat green, or the tat green, or whatever it is I always say. I've realised something we haven't done yet, by the way. Guys, alright, stop mocking me. I can't say turn, okay? I can't say turn. I'm sorry. Next bonus on likes is Ali's car keys. That's a rumour. No, we're not going to push that one. We're nearly on 120 likes though, which is insane. Anyway, going into the game. We haven't covered this yet. Score prediction. And who's getting the goals? Who's getting the goals? We might need an emoji that says churn the tap. So Ali saying 1-0 to United. FP going 2-1 United. Oh, so it's going to be one of those days, is it, where it's a nice, tight, gritty game where we just got to battle through. Are you guys expecting a good performance? How are we feeling about performance going into the game? 2-1 to United with goals from Garnacho and Bruno. Another close game, but we will take it. We'll take anything we can get at the moment. We will take anything we can get. I'm standing by the 5-3 prediction. A 5-3 would be great fun to watch. Who are you predicting as the goal scorers in that situation? Because that's a lot of goals, but I'm absolutely here for it. David saying 2-1 to United with goals from Reed for Fulham, and then Bruno and Casemiro to score. Goals from our midfield, lovely. Would love to see that. I think it's an important time now for our midfielders to chip in with a couple of goals. Rasmus Højlund, obviously, we've been quite dependent on him in recent weeks. We know Rashford's got a goal in him. We know Garnacho as well. Yeah, a couple. Bruno. I feel like there is a little bit more emphasis on Bruno at the moment to find the goal again. I'm sure he will, because he's a great player. He will start scoring goals again. He will start getting more assists and stuff like that. But yeah, he does need to step up, like we would demand of any experienced number 10 in this situation. But I believe in him. Rashford, Garnacho, and Bruno all to score. No one has said a Forsen goal yet. Jack, good to see you, saying after... I can't speak. Afternoon all 3-1 win for this United today. It doesn't say this. I can't read. 3-1 win for United today. Who's scoring the goals, Jack? Who's scoring the goals? Thanks for joining the stream. If we do what we did with Luton, then it will be shaky. We must keep the tactics and keep assisting after scoring and not acting selfishly. We do see a lot of... It does feel like at times, I mean, if we get a goal, particularly if we go 2-0 up, we do see these weird decisions from the players. We kind of, like saying, I think Ten Hag said it a few times as well, we kind of drift away from the idea. We drift away from the approach which we start the game with. That's got to change. It's got to change. Hopefully it will. Hopefully it will. We should win that midfield battle today. I mean, yeah, obviously we can talk about profiles, right? But if we're talking purely the names, it looks like we've got a better midfield, right? Kobe Mainoo, I'm looking at you as well, my friend. What a player. Help us. Jack saying he definitely thinks we'll see a Forson debut goal. That would be lovely. Garnacho and Bruno both also on the score sheet. Pardon me, I do apologise. McTominay scores from the bench, says Ali, and that was in a 1-0 win, right? You said. Ali's been right recently as well. I believe he's got the last 2 games exactly right. Is Corey still in the chat? I saw him right at the start. Corey, are you still here? If so, I'd love to see your prediction. 2-0 with goals from Forson and Rashford. A good day for the academy. I think Ten Hag will approach this game with much more control in our play style and less a focus on capitalising on transitional situations, simply because of injuries. Do you think, whether we're at home or away, I'm trying to think back now to what we've seen so far this season, do you think we see a difference in terms of directness, in terms of control, whether we're at Old Trafford or away? Because, of course, traditionally, throughout the history of football, really, away from home, teams do tend to be a bit more pragmatic, you know, a bit deeper, a bit more transitional. Has that been the case for United this season? Or is it the same style whether we're home or away? It would be interesting to go back over some games and have a look at that at some point. Wolves away for the first half, we had a lot of control. Really good point, and I would love to see that sort of first half of football replicated. We might struggle with certain players missing for this game, but I'd like to see that being the aim and the approach. If Fulham plays a low block, it'll be a long day for us. Yeah, the important thing to remember is if it does come to that, and they are sitting really deep and we're trying to break them down, let's get the tactics board again, is, first of all, you've got to commit enough numbers forward so that you can break them down. At the same time, you don't want to push these players too far forward too early, because if you do that, our deep players then don't have passing options. So, for example, if we push Fernandes really high, if we push Kobe Mainoo really high, suddenly who's Casemiro meant to pass to? So that's something we need to consider. The other thing we need to consider when pushing men forward is there's a chance we lose the ball and we've got to be ready to defend a transition. If we approach the game like this, we won't be. We won't be ready to defend a transition. So it's important that we see a Kobe Mainoo in here, or perhaps Dalot inverting, which, you know, he's done a fair bit recently. These are important things for us to see in this game. In terms of breaking Fulham down, I think you can get at them. I do think you can get at them. I think they're a good side, and I think tactically they're pretty well set up. You know, they get the basics right and things like that. But I just don't think they're top level. I don't think they're top level in the way that they're set up. And, you know, they tick the basic boxes, but in terms of taking the team to the next level, they don't. And there is potential for us in this game to have overloads. Firstly, in the fact that they will often defend with 3 players in midfield like this. Potentially 2 with Pereira higher up at times. We can outnumber that. If Dalot inverts on a regular basis, whether that be deep or higher, or even swapping with Garnacho. If we see this sort of thing, though, we do have naturally 1, 2, 3, 4 players up against the 3 of Fulham. So there's the chance for the overload there. But the other real chance for the overload is on the last line. As we work the ball wide, let's move these guys about like this. As we work the ball wide to Garnacho, we have, count it with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players, whereas they have a back 4. A back 4. So, we have more players. Now, what this means is that, particularly if you move the ball quite quickly, which we like to do, if you move this ball quickly to someone like Garnacho, Robinson comes across. This opens up a channel of space for Kobe Mainoo to get into. Now, let's say Bassi closes off that space. Well, now we've opened up a channel of space for Forson. Let's say Adebayo closes up that space. Well, now we've got a channel for Bruno. Castagna might close that. We've got a channel for Rashford. That's what you can do. It's quite a basic breakdown. You know, it's more in depth than that. But to kind of quickly summarise it, that's how attacking with a front five can quickly overload the back four. Particularly if we're also willing to cycle the ball backwards from these wide areas to a Dallo in a deeper position, or perhaps from the other side to someone like Casemiro. That's when you can control possession, but also pull Fulham side to side. You know, keep moving them, keep them shifting side to side across the pitch, but also then move the ball forward quickly, look to go for the kill and attack them. And I think we can do that. It'll be interesting to see how well Forson's going to occupy the centre-backs. Will Fulham feel confident going 1 versus 1 against him? Will they want a 2 versus 1? That will be interesting to see. And I think that is something important to consider. Forson's a young player coming into the side. He's a bit of an unknown, really. He hasn't played a lot of football. Fulham will be aware of him, but they're not going to know exactly little characteristics of his game. Certain little patterns of movements he always does. He will bring an unpredictability to the side. That could be useful. That could be really, really useful. How long is Højlund out for? 2 to 3 weeks. Good to see you, by the way, Fabrizi. I saw you message a little bit higher, but forgot to say hi, so thank you for joining. There's murmuring about Rashford playing as the 9 with Forson out wide. It's definitely a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. I think either way, they rotate, to be honest. I would like to see Rashford left, just to keep up with what we've seen recently. But they definitely could. They definitely could be this way around. Look out for Adebayo. Great player. Really good player. Keep an eye on him. Very, very good. Thoughts on Amas not playing in the first team? I'm not surprised. He's a young player. Let him stay in the academy for now, basically. And then in the summer, pre-season, give him a chance there. That's my view of it. Forson equals an unknown card to Fulham. Exactly. He can bring a surprise. Absolutely he can. AJ, I'm so happy that Ten Hag finally figured out that McTominay is effective from the bench and not a starter. It was an open goal to start McTominay today, but he went with Forson. I think it's really interesting. It would have been very, very easy. And I think even a month ago, maybe a bit longer, he would have. Very, very easy to start McTominay in this game, but also to start Anthony in this game. The fact that he's gone with Forson, whether Forson plays well or not, doesn't matter too much. In terms of purely for Forson sitting there as an individual, that's a big, big boost for him, for his confidence. Ten Hag clearly likes him. You know, this isn't, I've been forced to play an academy player, so I've chucked him into the starting 11 and I hope he does well. Ten Hag's got some faith in him. He's got some faith in him, because McTominay could have easily played this game up front or in the 10 with Bruno out wide. We could have seen Anthony on the right wing, Garnacho left wing, Rashford up top. There was ways to go for more experienced players here. Players who Ten Hag has liked this season. But he's gone with Forson. It's a big boost for his confidence. His career, that's huge for him. It's huge for him. Of course, manage expectations. I'm not expecting a masterclass from him. I'm not expecting the perfect debut. Thanks for subscribing, Marcus. Greatly appreciated. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I am very, very excited. That front three can be very fluid and mobile. That's the only justification for Forson starting ahead of him. I think all three of that front line can probably play either of those positions across the front. You know, Forson can play left. He can move right at times. He can play up front. Rashford, absolutely the same. And Garnacho as well. We haven't necessarily seen him too much up front, but I like it. Ten Hag has said it before, the only way for an academy player to join the first team is they have to earn it. And I think Ten Hag really stands by that. A lot of people have criticised him for, you know, he doesn't play the youth and things like that. He does. He does play the youth. But only if he really thinks you're good enough. He's not going to give minutes to these guys who he thinks are going to be sold in the summer. He wants to give these minutes to players, I think, which he truly believes have a future at United. You know, the Kobe Mainus, the Garnachos, now the Forsons, Cambuala even. He does give you a chance, but you've got to earn it. And he's got to genuinely believe that you're going to make it into the first team, which is an interesting approach to it. Is it the right one? I'm not too sure. But it worked for Kobe. It's working for Garnacho. Hopefully it works for Forson. We'll have to wait and see. Has Ten Hag started McTominay when there have been better options? I think there was a spell a little bit earlier in the season, around November time, where he could have. But in terms of McTominay, the option today, I think for me, was either to put him straight in up front, which I'm not sure about. I wondered if he might play in the 10 McTominay, Bruno wide, Garnacho wide, Rashford up front. That's what I wondered would happen. So many graduates dipping their toes in the first team. Isn't it beautiful? Exactly. Exactly. It's great. It's great for our academy. It's exactly what we should be all about. How long can we cope without having any fit left back in our squad? Good question, my friend. It depends. How well is Lindelof going to perform? Is Tyrell Malacia? Does he still exist, you know? Is he still about at the football club? I don't know. Hopefully, right? He still exists, I think. When's Wan-Bissaka back? Because then Dalot can go to fullback. It's going to be a difficult test. And I think that's something we have to consider. And it's something that I will definitely consider in my analysis video tonight. So the game will finish. I'll do a video covering it about 8 o'clock. And it's something we've got to consider with performance. We don't have a left back in the side. You know, we're going to have a defence full of right-footed players when Ten Hag loves left footers in defence. So there's concerns there. We're playing without a natural striker. We've got to consider these things. The most important thing today is the result. I would love to see a good performance. I would love to see the right ideas, good shape, control, threat in the final third. But we kind of just need points, to be honest. We kind of just need points on the board to keep us ticking over. Can Anthony play as a left back? I've had a few questions about this. I don't know because I've never seen him try it, so it's difficult to say. I think he would struggle physically a lot. A lot. You know, he works hard and things like that, and of course he's left-footed. But I think physically he'd have some big troubles. Also, just tactically, the positioning of a defensive winger compared to a fullback, very different. It's a very different job. You're constantly 1 versus 1, so I don't know. The evidence isn't there to suggest yes, but also potentially not to suggest no either. It's a difficult one, but I don't know. Play Anthony as right back, Dalot as left back. Again, you're just shuffling the defence a bit too much for my personal liking. But it could happen in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Malacia comes in at the end of the month. Well, that'll be a boost. Do you think Ahmad will have game time at half time? Okay, so what I would imagine is we start the game like this. In terms of the front three we're talking about here. I'd imagine we start the game like this, but I would expect Anthony to get on for Forson at some point, and Rashford goes up front. Anthony could then go left, or he could swap with Garnacho, but I think we'll see that at some point in the game. I think Anthony will get on. A lovely fun stat from FP. If you guys don't know FP, by the way, get to know FP. Always here with the stats, and also put me onto that Lukumi video yesterday. Forson is the 249th United Academy graduate to make his senior debut. That's pretty cool. Collier, is that, how do you say his name? Collier? I'm so bad with this. If he plays, it'll be the 250th. That's not bad, is it? And again, I think that's what this club should be about. That's what Ineos should be all about. It's what our manager, whoever it may be, should be about. All of it. Sell Sancho and Anthony for 80 million and buy Brahim Diaz. I need to keep an eye on Brahim Diaz because he's been good recently and a few people have said about him. 5-0 says Patrick, but Forson scores the Puskas winner. I mean, that's a nice day of football. That'd be a lovely Saturday afternoon. I would absolutely love that. Anyway, I am just about to wrap up this stream here. So if there's anything else you want to quickly get in the chat, now is the time to do it. If you haven't liked the stream already, now is the time to do it. We're on 133, which is insane. 160 people still in here, by the way, as well. We've been around 160 for an hour now, which is incredible. Incredible. Thank you guys very much. In terms of content today, so this game kicks off at 3. I'll probably do a video about 8 PM UK time. So for you guys around the world, in about 5 hours time is probably when I'll do a video. Video, not a stream. Video. I might have said the wrong thing there. I'm not sure. Ali with another $5. Put some love hearts in that chat for Ali. Leave a like on the stream for Ali. Leave a like on Ali's message. What a legend. Another $5 saying great pre-game stream. You guys are all legends. Let's end with a win to keep the winning streak before the City game. Also big up FP for all the stats. What a hero. What a hero. That video will be 1:30 in the morning for you. That's unlucky. I do apologise. Common Ali W. Always, always. By the way, guys, there is a Discord link at the top of the chat. Join the Discord. It's good fun. We have some good chats there. You will get my more immediate reaction to the game there as well before I do my video. So join the Discord, completely free to do so. I'd imagine it'll be pretty active during the game, particularly if things get a little bit spicy. So, yeah, do that. Give the video a like, absolutely. We're on 139 right now, which I think is a record. But apart from that, we are finished for today's stream. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you to everyone who has liked. Thank you to Ali for the donations, to Callum for the gifted membership. Did we have anyone else as well? If we did, I apologise if I've missed you. Thanks to the mods as always. Thanks to everyone in the chat in general getting your thoughts in. Everyone who liked, all 141 of you. Enjoy the game of football. But remember, at the end of the day, it's a game of football. If it goes wrong, there's plenty of other things in the world, alright? So if it goes wrong, watch a film or something. Go for a walk. Go to the gym. Go play football. Play some cricket. Play a video game. Do something to take your mind off it, alright? Because it's not the end of the world if we lose a football match. Try not to let it ruin your weekend. Personally, I think we're going to win. And we're going to win 2-0 to Manchester United. It's quite obvious. Harry Maguire scores because he's a legend. And so does... I've read the script. Forson scores the other one. But apart from that, we are finished for this afternoon. So enjoy the game, guys. Have fun watching Manchester United because next week might be a bit scary. So enjoy the game. But apart from that, we are finished. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. Today, I'm actually going to end the stream properly, unlike yesterday where it was absolute chaos. Apologies for that. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the Discord, and then I'll see you with a video tonight. So, bye guys.